And good evening. Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner here from the Highland Activity Center on the Highland Activity Network. I'm your host, Paul McDonald. Only two more shows left in 2023. And we kick it off tonight. We're going to talk wrestling. Head coach Trevor Hansen, the Highlander wrestling team, joining us. How you doing?
Good.
Good wrestling room today? Good practice?
Yeah, it was good. We went quick and didn't do a lot of live wrestling because we have a couple of events coming up here. So we're pretty busy this week. And we worked hard and got some good sweat going, but not too much live.
Well, the last time since we talked last, we've had three duels. The triangular, a couple of duels with Fargo North and West Fargo Cheyenne. You knew Cheyenne was going to be tough. Mm-hmm. They're number 2 in the state for a reason. And North, how'd you feel things went there on that night with that triangular with North and them?
Well, we wrestled okay. I mean, I think we wrestled fine. We had an injury, and then we had a kid that didn't, make weight. So then obviously we had to stick one of our lighter weights there, had to bump him up a weight class, and that didn't help either. So, but Corbin Golovanov wrestled really tough. He actually ended up getting it hurt in that match, so that stinks. But he battled tough, and Colton wrestled well, and Ethan wrestled a pretty big kid at 189 and wrestled well too. So. It went okay. It's been a long time since we lost to Fargo North, and so that stinks. But we did okay. Again, if we have kids at weight, and we have like 5 kids at about 145 pounds that just can't spread apart. So we're trying to get them to spread apart, but it's tough.
Holidays come up, eat a little bit. You do have a weight allowance, don't you, after the new year?
Yeah, after Christmas, actually. After Christmas, it's 2 pounds. So actually, starting with the Rumble, we'll actually get a 2-pound allowance. So every weight class will be up 2 pounds.
Well, after that triangular, you were in Wahpeton for the Down Under here this past weekend, and you had, 1, 2, 6? 5 guys that placed for you this past weekend. Overall, how did you feel the guys wrestled in Wahpeton?
Pretty good. Hunter Undum was right there with a pretty good senior, Weston Jensen, and ended up losing the match, but was ahead. Got the first takedown, was riding really well, wrestled pretty good, but made some small mistakes and ended up losing that match. But we wrestled okay. We had a lot of JV kids that did really well. Owen Hunt went 3-1 in the JV portion on Friday. He's only an 8th grader, wrestling heavyweight, so wrestled really well. Had 4 good matches, his 3 wins, and then he had a overtime match for his last one, lost in overtime. So he ended up wrestling a lot of matches, getting a lot of mat time. He looks good for an 8th grader. So and then Colton, took care of business, domination all over, and again wrestled a really tough kid actually in the finals. I mean, Cashton Wadeson from Lisbon's going to be ranked. I mean, he's going to be ranked. He'll be a placer in Class B, and he beat him 13-0, I think was the score, and shut him out. So there really wasn't a lot of offense from Cashton. So Colton's been workman-like. He just gets in the room and does what he needs to do, and he's doing extra, and he really wants it. So
he's a hungry hippo. He's ready to get her done. And of course, Scott Rohde, last time he was going to get a chance to wrestle, I think he's having some surgery, and he's going to be out now after that. So it was nice to see him place and do well enough in that tournament. Yeah, it would have been nice to see him. He ended up beating, they seeded the tournament, so he ended up beating the 1 seed, pinning him to make it to the semis, but then he ended up losing in the semis, but he wrestled pretty well. Yeah, he had surgery on yesterday, and then so we're crossing our fingers that he gets back maybe the middle of January, maybe the end of January before regionals, and can wrestle, because I think Scotty could be a placer this year at heavyweight. So. And I know that Dustin Kruger works for the junior high, and the junior high kids went to Lisbon, and not really a tournament. It was just get out there and do some matches. I think Simon Trapp went 2-0 for the day, and I think Bowen Bulow also was 2-0 for the weekend.
Yep.
How about those junior high kids? They're 7th graders that are getting some varsity experience, but getting a chance to wrestle a little junior high and doing pretty well.
Yeah, and Simon's so little. He's like 79 pounds, so weight class is 107, so it's really hard to get you to that weight class. But when he gets kids his own size, he does wrestle really well. Simon's been he's scrappy and tough, and our other kids are little light too. You know, Bowen's 90, Brady's 93 or 94. Zach is about 103, 104, so he's up there, and he got his first varsity win ever at Fargo North. He beat a 114-pound kid and pinned him, so that was pretty sweet for him. He was pretty excited, and then Trenton Giesler is like 100 pounds. So, none of them are really a true 107-pounder
Right.
kind of, or like after Christmas now it's 109.
Yeah.
So now you're even giving up more weight. So they will be wrestling some varsity for us off and on when we can find a good matchup for them.
Mm-hmm.
We try to not throw them to really, really good kids and then just get their butt kicked and then, start to not like it. So we try to get them good matchups and good matches. And if the other kids, some other teams have 95-pounders wrestling 107. So if they got a 95-pounder and Bowen's 90 or Zach's 100, and we can get them at least a evenly weight matchup.
Yeah.
That's good. And Chase is out with a thumb injury, but he's going to wrestle tomorrow, and then he's going to wrestle on Friday and Saturday too. So Chase is. And hopefully in our tournament next weekend. So Chase is coming back, and it'll be good to see because obviously he's had some experience from last year, and that'll be a sight for sore eyes as well because we just hate giving up all those forfeits. There's only 13 matches now, not
Right.
14.
Right.
So all you got to win is 7, and if we're forfeiting 3 weights, now all they got to win is 4 matches. Well, most teams have 4 pretty good wrestlers they can put out on the mat, and if we can't, beat them or they win, then we're out. So.
Well, you got to try tomorrow in Breckenridge, and then also we got the big Sertoma coming up in Grand Forks this weekend. So a busy next 3 days. You know who you have coming up here tomorrow at Breck with the try? I didn't see who the other two.
Oh, we wrestle Breckenridge Wahpeton, which they're a
Yep.
co-op, and then we wrestle Lisbon.
And Lisbon, that's true.
So
Yeah.
probably get Colton and Caston again. Probably get those two again, which is fine. That's cool. Colton loves tough matches, and he needs them. He needs them to get better and improve and do that stuff. So Lisbon's tough.
Yeah.
Lisbon's very tough. They're pretty good. They've got some injuries and they got some kids out, so they're not full strength, but they're still pretty good, and they're going to fill all their weights. And Wahpeton, that's a winnable duel, and that's the EDC duel. So that's the one we wrestle that one right away, and that's one we want to get a victory in for sure. And Lisbon will be tough. They're always tough, but they're a little bit down from last year. But when
Right.
you're coming down from being one of the best teams in the state in Class B,
Yeah.
they lost a lot, but they replenish with those kids, man. They're just tough down there. So
Coach Lucina runs a great program down there in Lisbon.
Yep.
Like 8 straight state championships or something along those lines.
Yep.
that they have. Now the Sertoma and Grand Forks, you kind of know that's a duel.
Yep.
Dual tournament. You know where your pool is, who you match up with.
yeah, it's 16 teams, and then they literally just list it like a 16-team bracket, and then of course winners go right, losers go left, that type of stuff. We wrestle Perham in the first round at 4:30 on Friday, and then if we win or lose, we get the winner or loser of West Fargo, Cheyenne, and Turtle Mountain. So we'll match up with. I think that's who we'll match up
Right,
with. So we'll
right.
wrestle one of those two again Friday night, and then Saturday we'll again weigh in and wrestle 2 or 3 duels depending upon winning and losing after that. So after that, it's kind of a conundrum because
Right.
they start cross bracketing and they start moving teams around. So then you wrestle all kinds of different teams. But it's good to see different competition.
Right.
Otherwise, if we're wrestling West Fargo Cheyenne again and all that stuff, it ends up being. I mean, I hope we wrestle West Fargo Cheyenne because that means
Yeah,
we won our
that means
first
you won
duel
your
probably.
first,
'Cause
yeah.
I'm just assuming they're going to win. They're going to be Turtle Mountain, but we'll get to see other teams, some West teams, some Minnesota teams where we don't have to wrestle, the same East teams all the time. So
I know Perham has always had some pretty good wrestling programs over the years.
yeah, they were down a little bit last year. Like the year before last, they were really good. They were ranked up in class or in Minnesota, and now I think they're down a little bit, or they were down last year. I haven't looked at their team exactly yet, but.
No. Well, I'll get on the Guillotine tomorrow. I'll do my research and get on the Guillotine. That's the Minnesota wrestling paper, the grapplers for the Dakotas and the Guillotine in Minnesota, and see
Yeah.
how they are. But final question for you, Coach. Now, it's still December, so is it more middle of January, late January, where you feel, okay, I want to have my 13 guys set, and you have your weight classes set? It will be late January, like a month before conference, when you feel you've got everything set, right?
Yeah, and some kids are making weight. Some kids are descending down because we have a descension plan. You can only lose 1.5% of your body weight per week. So a 150-pound kid is 2.25 pounds per week legally that you can lose. Now, there's a lot of kids that can lose more than that.
Right.
They can, but
Right.
by rule they can't. And then we're getting kids down to weight. There's some other kids that are kind of deciding between going up and going down and that type of stuff. So we're pretty close. I wish we had a couple, like a 121 and a 127 pounder, because we don't really have those. So
Right.
we don't even have kids eligible for those weights technically. So we're hoping we can get some kids down and then fill some of those weight classes. But you're right. After Christmas, when we get that 2-pound allowance, then it starts to end up being where we can move some kids, or they can descend down to their weight and get down to a different weight. So there'll be a lot of differences probably between, tomorrow's duel and
Right.
and obviously the end of the season. And that's when we want to kind of peak with our conditioning, and everything is kind of that late January, and then roll into regionals in early February, and then kind of taper off as we get there, so we can heal up too. So.
All right. Well, Coach, appreciate it. Good luck here this is the next 3 days, and everybody stay healthy. Get through these 3 days and go from there.
Yeah,
but again,
we got a little bit of injury bug and a little bit of sickness bug. So if the sickness comes through now and gets out, and we can get rid of it, and hopefully not have it for the rest of the season, that's okay. Because definitely don't want any of that in February. So.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, Paul.
You had Coach Trevor Hansen joining us from Highlander Wrestling. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner from the Hack here on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here in Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network here from the Hack. Switching gears, now we'll go into basketball, and head coach Jimmy Howard from the Highlander girls basketball team joining us. How you doing, Coach?
Good. How are you?
So far, so good. Can't complain right now, but people were golfing today, so you gotta like that middle of the first week in December. Let's talk basketball, not about the golfing here. Got the first game under your belt against Fargo Grove here last week, 65-51 if memory serves, final.
71.
71-54.
Yes.
I knew somebody was in the 50s there. See, I'm old. I don't remember things. Your thoughts just overall in that first game against the Grovers?
I thought we came out and we struggled a little bit to start the game, which first game, playing a little bit different system. I really liked the way the girls responded once we scored. Our press seemed to cause a lot of issues. We caused a lot of turnovers, got out and ran and got some easy buckets. Had a really good first quarter, struggled in the second quarter, really good third quarter, and then kind of finished it off in the fourth. So it's nice to have things to work on. We don't want to have those struggles in that second quarter where we're slow scoring-wise and getting outscored. But, we let it get back to 2 going into half, but then responded really awesome in the start of the third quarter. I think went on an 11-0 run after a minute or two and kind of just put the game away right there.
Never really got comfortable, did you, in that game?
As someone told me, they said it felt like the closest 20-point game they've ever been at. The atmosphere was really awesome. Told the girls, welcome to what, the new Class A is going to be. A lot of fans in there cheering. The girls loved it. But we pushed it out far enough in the third quarter, I think, that I felt comfortable. But let them have a couple runs where they got it back in, and we just had to kind of put it away, and the girls responded, and we made free throws when we needed to finish the game out.
Inside-outside game. You looked like you had a nice mix. Of course, Tessa and Drew were hitting their outside shots, but you had a nice inside game too.
Yeah, the first half, I think we hit 1 3. We'd like to hit a few more just to kind of space the teams out a little bit on defense. But we really attacked the paint. We offensive rebounded really well in that game. Katie Birchall played really well in the post, but a lot of our points in the paint came off of turnovers, fast break layups, and things like that. So I like when we can get in the paint and score. We like to get a paint touch to get a kick out for an open three in rhythm. And in the second half, we hit a few of those, which really made it nice.
Well, you talked about that run. I think it was a 34-32 that they got within two. And in that run, three straight steals and layups. Is that kind of what you want to see this team be able to do?
Absolutely. Different this year. We got some guards playing in the back of the zone, of the press. We're a little more mobile there. And the more we play it, the better we're going to get at it. But Greta's length at the top of the zone really makes it difficult, I should say, to reverse the ball. Dakota Potrotz's length at that second level position, she plays the interceptor spot really well. And then Tessa in the back, she's able to cover so much ground. And then along with Katie or Hadley or whoever else is back, they were able to challenge layups and make them more difficult. So we want to speed you up. We want you to play faster. And like I said, with Greta at the front, she kind of takes half the court away. So yes, the steals to layups is what we're looking for.
For every 2 points you score, we want 4.
Yep. that's kind of the idea.
Now coming up next, if memory serves, on Tuesday, I believe, with Wahpeton is coming in. It'll be part of a doubleheader, I believe. Wahpeton for the girls, Central Cass for the boys. State tournament team last year for Coach Watson and the Huskies. So what do you expect here on Tuesday?
Well, I expect them to be tough defensively. They always are. They're coached well. They graduated 3, 2 of them being kind of their bigger scorers. So we'll have to see who else picks up the slack there with that. But Scout's going to be difficult. She's physically kind of imposes her will, and we're going to have to be ready to match that physicality and try to get the ball out of her hands. I know that they're defensively, they'll play a little bit of zone. They're going to be a man team, and they're going to rebound, and that's kind of Watson's MO, and so I know they're going to be sound on that side of the ball, and we're going to have to take care of it, and we're going to have to attack when we can.
You talk about atmosphere. I feel it's going to be a fun atmosphere on Tuesday night here in the Hack.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to the fact we're going to have 2 different teams in town, so we're really going to have 3 different towns here that night with the boys doubleheader. But I'm hoping that we can pack it in here and really get the place going, and that continues throughout the season.
Health-wise, you're doing okay right now. Knock on wood. If anything happens over the weekend, you know who to blame. But so far, so good, at least for you guys.
Yeah, we're still got kids recovering from a few injuries from volleyball, and just some new stuff from running, and different muscles being used. But for the most part, yes, we are healthy, and we'll knock on wood that continues. We haven't had really any sickness come through or anything like that, but it's a winter season, and so kind of expected at some point, but hopefully we can stay healthy.
And this is something I'm sure we'll talk about with the other basketball coaches that'll be coming on. Conditioning, you want to worry about that late in January and February, so it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, and the way we play, we got to be in shape, and we got to be able to run. So, we hit a lot of that early, and then you get Christmas break, and it's like you got to hit it again. And then hopefully coming out of Christmas break, we'll be ready to go and continue to push the tempo.
That's where your bench really is going to come in handy too, and having a deep bench is giving girls a chance to take a few minutes off.
Yeah, I think I played 9 on Thursday. Could be a different 9 the next game, could be 10, but they're ready to go. The JV girls are getting a great experience right now at the Barnes County North Tournament, and so I think that's only going to benefit them coming off the bench for us later throughout the season.
All right, we're going to talk about that coming up here in just a bit. But again, Coach, appreciate it. And Wahpeton coming up on Tuesday at 6 o'clock for the girls' game.
Correct.
And that'll be here at the Hack. So come on out and watch the girls take on the Huskies in the Class A game. They're in our region.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
This is a regional game with the Huskies coming up on Tuesday. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thanks, and go Highlanders.
That's Coach Jimmy Howard from the Highlander girls basketball. Back with more girls basketball coming up as Coach's Corner continues on the Highlander Activity Network. Back at Coach's Corner in the Highlander Activity Network, and as Coach Howard just alluded to, the Highlander JV is playing in the Barnes County Tournament over at the Bubble, and Tara Glant, JV coach, joining us. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. How are you?
So what's it like being in the first chair? I should ask Jimmy. What's it like being in the second chair?
You know, I had to do some stuff last night that I'm not used to, like check my book and like starting lineups and all that. And I'm like, just, you know, some of that stuff. But I did it. We got through it.
Game last night, victory against Wymer Lidgewood, 55-51 was the final. Just the overall thoughts for you, Coach, from that game last night.
It was fun. It was a great experience for the kids. The seniors are a little jealous, and Greta are a little jealous that they didn't get to play in it. But for my sophomores and freshmen and Bailey, it was a really good experience. Big gym, big court, tough game. I mean, we're playing against all older girls.
Yeah.
We're playing against seniors, juniors. They've been around for a while. So just a lot of, I don't know, learning experiences, I guess you could say. It was a good game. Third quarter got a little tough for us.
Yeah.
We made some errors that are, I mean, it's going to happen. It is what it is, you know, and and they really did a nice job in holding their composure. That was really good. Yeah, I looked up one time and I was like, I don't know what else to do, girls. We got to get it together here. But, you know, they did a nice job and they came through and they got it together in that fourth quarter and really dug deep and stuck with their guns and put the press back on for a little bit and then got back to what we do.
And learning how to finish a game, that's what a lot of these kids are going to have to learn. You're up by
Right.
19, I
Yeah.
think it was, at 36-17 of the third quarter. Next thing you know, it's a three-point game.
Yeah, clock awareness, clock recognition. Yes, we have the shot clock, but still they have to understand that, you know, we're up by this much with 2 minutes left in the game. What's our goal here, right? So it's learning, and they're going to get there. And this is like Coach Howard said, it's a great experience for those girls. Absolutely.
Really good experience coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Northern Cass next up.
Yeah, it's, you know, again, it's their varsity,
Yeah.
and they are ranked. And so our JV, again, a great learning experience. They have some great players. You got the Crockett girl, and you got a 6'3", and I think it's Josie Jensen.
Yep.
So, it's a learning thing. I keep saying that, but for them it is. And playing against some varsity teams, great experiences, and dig deep on our defense and, you know, put that press on, see what we can do. If we can frustrate the Crockett girl, that would be nice. And Josie Jensen, I don't think likes to be, I don't know, what do you call it, bumped around.
Yeah,
I think
not a physical player.
Right, that's what I was saying. I think she'd rather fade away, jumper, instead of back to the basket player. So we'll see what we can do. Our girls like to play physical. Our posts, Bailey LaRue, I mean, defensively, you don't want to jump all situation with Bailey because she'll win,
Yeah.
right?
She's got the hockey mentality.
You know, and Katie Burchell does a nice job.
Yeah.
All of my post players do. They really do. All the girls do. They all work hard. Yeah.
And, you know, and also I think Ellie Lucas and they got some length. And at 6'3", I was like, okay, but then you add the arm length because she set a record last year for block shots
Yeah.
for Northern Cass. So
Right.
how do you prepare against a player that is, that's probably what she brings to the table. She's your shot blocker.
Right. You know, like Howard mentioned, it's kind of that in and out. Get the post, the touch, turn and face, outlet the ball, finding the lanes, the passing lanes for the girls to get in, and back to the fundamentals. Can you put up a shot fake? Can you go up around her, a shot fake and go, you know, up and under? Can you get her up in the air so she'll follow you? Could there be some block shots tomorrow? I'm probably saying there will be, but we'll do our best. We'll do the best that we can and play as a team. And, you know, I tell the girls every day before we go up, just have fun. You're going to make mistakes and we're going to learn a lot. But if you don't have fun, it's hard to want to come back. So before we go up, I said, what's our goal? And have fun. Yes, we like to win and it's fun.
Yeah.
But learning the game and playing together and having fun together is one of my biggest things. So.
Well, one thing, watching it live last night, and then I watched it again today, a lot of good, getting that one extra pass, finding a lot of open players. I thought I saw Kinley Suffolk was on the baseline and had a nice dish that Burchell had an easy layup. Is that something, too, you feel they know how to do, that they find that open person and work the ball around, or is that a learning process, too?
Well, I think with this group of sophomores, they've been playing together for quite a while, so they really know how to vibe with one another. Kinley, you have to be ready. She's very unselfish, sometimes too much.
Too much.
And where I'd like her to shoot a little bit more, and I hope she's listening, as I'd like her to shoot a little bit more.
Right.
And then once she has that opportunity, then when they close out on her, then look for the in. But yeah, she's good at entering the ball. I mean, Dakota, Katie Coca can do it. I mean, they all have worked really well together. And now with Katie Burchell in there coming along, we're learning to play together, and it's just getting the vibe. I appreciate all those inside passes. It allows so many opportunities for everybody on the court. And rebounding, you know, they're so fun to watch. And I think I've said it every year I've coached them. They're just a great group of kids.
Well, 6 o'clock tomorrow night, so that is over at the Bubble at Valley City State. So come on out, watch Valley City State take on the second-ranked Northern Cass Jaguars. Now, before I let you go, we talked JV. I was going to talk junior high. Tom's working tonight. He's on dad duty.
He
but
is.
Junior high's been doing pretty good so far this year. And last night, 38-20 or 38-19 win against Lisbon. Overall, they've been playing pretty good. And last night, Mariah Fries, I think, had 19 points because you have an injury to Nielsen.
Yeah.
They're learning how to play without Sky, but
Yeah.
they're doing well so far.
You know they are. We had our jamboree here last Saturday, and we knew they were going to play Carrington, and that's somebody they always look for. And Carrington is tough, and they served them our first loss. But yeah, again, a group of girls, 5 girls that have been playing together for a long time, know each other's role, put the time in. Yeah, they're fun to watch, and they appreciate all the articles you've wrote for us in the TR and stuff. So, it's fun. It's going to be a great experience for all these kids as they come up through this, especially with the new class system.
Well, we told them that they're at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. You come on over here. Junior high plays Oak Grove in the North Gym, I think, at 5.
Yep.
So you can watch that, then zip on over to the Bubble and watch you guys take on Northern Cass tomorrow.
Time change, 4:30.
Even better.
Because I'd like to watch my daughter play, and
better.
that way to encourage them all to get over there and watch us play at the
Perfect.
Bubble. So hopefully, come on out, support us.
That'll
It'll
be
be
over the
fun.
North Gym, 4:30 tomorrow, Oak Grove in the junior high, and then at 6 o'clock in the Bubble, Northern Cass and the Valley City Junior Varsity in the Barnes County Tournament. Tara, thanks for joining us. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
You bet. Coach Tara Glenn joining us from Highlander Girls Basketball. We'll be back to talk boys basketball. That's on the way as Coach's Corner continues on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here at Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network on this Wednesday night, and we kind of mentioned a little bit. Boys will get started here with Central Cass coming up on Tuesday. Coach Jim McDaniel joining us from the Highlanders. How's it been going, Coach? You've been practicing about a month now.
Yeah, we got a few practices in. It's going well. We're getting itchy for a game now, though. So it's Tuesday can't get here fast enough.
We talked about it when we had your first interview after getting named head coach, and boy, you get baptism by fire. You get a very good Central Cass team. But is that going to be a good barometer to see where you guys are at, have playing a team like that right away?
Yeah, it's. I mean, our schedule opens up Castleton, and we got Kindred, and then Devil's Lake. So it's going to put us to the test early, but. Yeah, the competition's going to be right there, top notch. So we got to get our stuff together early, and yeah, we'll be able to gauge how we do. You know, if we can get a couple wins out of those first 3, it sets the tone pretty nice for us.
We were talking about crowd. If you can get that crowd there, how much would that play and help the players? And I mentioned this to Coach Howard too. We could have get the crowd behind them too, and how that would help energize them a little bit.
Well, I think that first night the crowd is going to be pretty awesome because we got, you were talking with for the girls, they got a different team coming in than us, and so there's going to be quite a few fans here. So I don't know if the boys are used to the atmosphere that we're going to be seeing this year in the new Class A. Right. I think gyms are going to be packed and it's going to be loud, and it'd be hard not to play basketball.
Now you look at your team and you look at as it's coming together, slow but sure. How would you describe this team? Is this a team that can do it both inside, outside run? How would you describe the Highlander team this year?
Yeah, I think we can go inside, outside. We got guys that can shoot. We're big. I'm hoping we can do both. So I'm right now we're really working on the inside game. I think you got to win there first before you go on and start shooting threes and things like that. So we're hitting that hard right now, trying to get in shape. We want to push the ball when we can. So yeah, it's going well, and You know, if the guys are, you know, buying in, it's tough for the guys because they are, once again, learning a new system again. So, we had a scrimmage on Saturday. I thought it went well. There's many positives out of that. Of course, there's negatives to find also. But I think the guys are doing a great job, you know, buying in early, getting, you know, trying to learn what we're doing. And again, I feel bad for the guys that they've had to do this a few times over, especially for those seniors.
Yeah. And you got a good mixture of young guys and seniors for this group, and I think team chemistry is going to be big too. And I think you're going to have good team chemistry with this group. Aren't you?
Yeah, we've had great team chemistry. I think our 6 seniors do a nice job of leading. They work hard. It's hard for the young guys to come and slough off when you got your 6 seniors, you know, working as hard as anybody. So, it's great chemistry. Everybody's getting along. Like I said, we're just ready to look at somebody other than ourselves, you know, a little bit. So the Saturday scrimmage was fun. Now we want it to count for real.
Right?
That was in Carrington.
Yeah.
We played Carrington first, and then we played Northern Cass, and then we played rugby.
Okay.
So it gave us a little test, you know, and so I thought we fared well with all 3 teams.
Health-wise, too, I know Sikora kind of is going to be work in progress, getting him back. But other than that, so far, so good.
So far, so good. It's just those nagging little things that come when all of a sudden we're running a little more and those things. So everybody's pretty healthy. Zach is coming along really well. He's back kind of full strength in practice right now. So when we get to Tuesday, he says doctors have cleared him. He should be good to go. So.
Okay.
We should be full strength on Tuesday.
All right. I guess, too, you know, we're talking about the seniors, the inside-outside. You got Talon Larson that can be probably a very dominant center at 6'5", down low. Are you looking for big things out of Talon this year?
Yes. It's fun getting in a huddle. I mean, it doesn't take much to be taller than me, but you get in a huddle. You get in a huddle right now, and you got Talon, 6'5". Jack D has got to be close to 6'7".
Yeah.
Carver's 6'4", 6. It's kind of nice looking in a huddle like that.
And long arms.
Yeah, long arms and big bodies too. They can move, but yet they got some muscle to them too. So the inside game. I hope we can get a lot of points in the paint, a lot of rebounds in the paint.
And Coach Lentz is working with you this year.
Yes. You
didn't have an assistant last time we chatted.
No, we did not. And so, Mike Lentz is our JV coach, and then Keaton Goldaddy, who's a VCSU student, he's our C Squad coach. So, the chemistry of the 3 of us right now has been awesome, and we look to have a good coaching crew that.
A lot of experience.
It's fun. It's so far it's been fun. It's a great group, all team around. As far as we got 5 managers and it's going to be a good group traveling around the state.
Well, Tuesday night it gets started 7:30. The Central Cass girls coming in again 6 o'clock for the girls game, and I believe the JV boys are 4:30.
4:30, but that's over at the Bubble.
That'll be at the Bubble.
Yep.
Okay.
So. First game is over there, Bubble, and then we're back here for the last game of the night. So
bring it in. Let's pack the hack and have a great first.
Let's bring up the let's bring the crowd in and let's whoop it up here. So
make them pull out the bleachers on the other side.
Yeah. Let's get it packed both sides and have it. Let's get this place rocking.
Kim here, watch the girls take on Wabana, and then the boys take on Central Cass right after that. Jim, thanks for joining us. Good luck here.
Thank you.
Coach Jim McDonald from the Highlander boys basketball will be back and wrap things up here in Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on the Highlander Activity Network and the Coach's Corner wrap things up. And here's what's on the docket from the Highlander Activity Network tomorrow at 2 o'clock. The 4th grade elementary music concert program over at Washington. And again, that'll be the matinee at 2 o'clock for the 4th graders. And that'll be right here on the Highlander Activity Network. And then next week, we've got basketball. Again, there'll be the varsity girls at 6 o'clock against Wahpeton, and the varsity boys around 7:30 against Central Cass. And again, you got Wahpeton girls, state tournament team last year. Central Cass boys, undefeated state champs last year. So it should be a great night here at the Hack for basketball on Tuesday. No Coach's Corner next Wednesday on the 13th, but we'll be back with another Coach's Corner on the 20th of December. That'll be our last Coach's Corner of 2023. And then we will not have one during the holiday break in the latter part of December. I want to thank our guests tonight, Trevor Hansen, Jimmy Howard, Jim McDaniel, and Tara Glant joining us tonight. Of course, Jane Johnson, cameraman, technical director, as usual. And you, our viewers, we appreciate you joining us here on YouTube and on the Highlander Activity Network each and every week. Again, no show next week, but we'll be back on December 20th, 6 o'clock, Coach's Corner from the Hack, right here on the Highlander Activity Network.